Nothing in this world truly belongs to you, a Buddhist. Perspective on attachment. Look around you for a moment. The chair you're sitting on, the clothes you're wearing, your house, your phone, your money, even the people you love. Now ask yourself a simple question. How many of these things will still belong to you 100 years from now? The answer is obvious. None of them, yet we spend most of our lives acting as though everything we have is permanent. We cling to possessions, relationships, status, and even our own identity. We build our sense of self around things that are constantly changing. And when life inevitably takes them away, we suffer. According to Buddhist philosophy, this is one of the greatest illusions of the human mind. Not because owning things is wrong, but because believing we can keep them forever creates unnecessary pain. Today, let's explore one of the most profound ideas in Buddhism. If nothing truly belongs to you, why do you hold on so tightly? One of the central teachings associated with the Buddha is the idea of impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing remains exactly as it is. Mountains slowly erode, trees grow, age and fall, civilizations rise and disappear. Our bodies change every single day. Even our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs constantly come and go. If change is the nature of reality, then trying to freeze life in place is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Yet this is exactly what many of us spend our lives doing. We try to preserve youth. We fear losing money. We desperately hold on to relationships. We become attached to success. And whenever something changes, we experience disappointment, anxiety, or grief. The suffering often doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from our resistance to change. Think about your favorite object. Maybe it's your car, your watch, a family heirloom, or perhaps a home you've worked years to buy. You may legally own it, but can you truly keep it forever? Eventually, time will take it. If not during your lifetime, then after it. Ownership, in many ways, is temporary stewardship. For a brief moment, something passes through your life, then it continues its journey without you. Recognizing this isn't meant to make life feel meaningless, quite the opposite. It makes every moment more valuable. A sunset becomes more beautiful because it doesn't last. Childhood becomes precious because it passes. Friendships become meaningful because they are fragile. Impermanence gives life its value. This idea also applies to people. Perhaps this is the hardest lesson of all. We often say, my partner, my child, my parents, my friends, my friends. These words are natural, but Buddhism invites us to look deeper. Can another human being ever truly belong to us? Every person has their own path, choices, dreams, and destiny. Trying to possess another person often transforms love into control. Fear replaces appreciation. Jealousy replaces trust. Attachment replaces compassion. Real love does not grow from ownership. It grows from presence, from appreciating someone while recognizing that neither of you can stop time. The more we try to imprison love, the more fragile it becomes. The same principle applies to our identity. Many people spend decades protecting an image of themselves. I am successful. I am intelligent. I am important. But what happens when circumstances change? What happens after retirement, after failure, after losing a title or position? If your identity depends entirely on external things, then every change feels like losing yourself. Buddhist philosophy encourages a different perspective. Instead of asking, what do I own? It asks, who am I without these things? Without your possessions, without your achievements, without your social status, who remains? This question can feel uncomfortable, but it also creates freedom, because if your peace depends on things that constantly change, your peace will always be temporary. None of this means you should reject the world. The Buddha did not teach that we must stop loving people or appreciating beautiful things. Rather, he warned against becoming emotionally imprisoned by them. There is a difference between enjoying something and believing you cannot be happy without it. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you grip too tightly, you hurt it. If you leave your hand completely open, it flies away. But if you gently allow it to rest there, you can appreciate its presence without trying to control it. Perhaps this is how we should approach life. It's self-grateful, present, but not possessive. Modern psychology echoes parts of this wisdom. Research suggests that people often adapt quickly to new possessions, achievements, or material success. The excitement fades, then the mind begins chasing the next thing: a bigger house, a better job, more recognition, more approval. The cycle rarely ends because the mind believes satisfaction exists somewhere in the future. Buddhist philosophy gently challenges that belief. Maybe peace isn't found by acquiring more. Maybe it appears when we stop demanding that temporary things provide permanent happiness. This perspective doesn't eliminate loss. Losing someone you love will always hurt. Watching life change is never easy. Grief is part of being human. Buddhism doesn't ask us to stop feeling pain. It asks us not to add another layer of suffering by insisting reality should have been different. Acceptance is not surrender. It is seeing life clearly. When we stop fighting the truth that everything changes, we discover an unexpected kind of freedom. Not because nothing matters, but because everything matters precisely because it is temporary. Perhaps the greatest attachment we carry is the belief that we have unlimited time. We postpone conversations. We delay forgiveness. We assume there will always be another opportunity. But life offers no such guarantee. Remembering impermanence isn't meant to create fear. It's meant to create urgency for what truly matters. Call the people you love. Spend time with your family. Watch the sunset. Take care of your health. Express gratitude while you still can. Because every moment is a gift that cannot be repeated. In the end, nothing in this world was ever truly yours to keep. Not your possessions, not your accomplishments, not even the body you live in. Everything is borrowed. Everything changes. Everything eventually returns to the flow of life. And strangely, there is peace in realizing this, because once you stop trying to own everything, you become free to fully experience it. Instead of living in fear of losing, you begin living in gratitude for having. Perhaps that is one of the most beautiful lessons inspired by the Buddha's philosophy. The less you cling, the more deeply you can appreciate. The less you try to possess, the more peacefully you can live. Maybe happiness was never about holding on. Maybe it has always been about learning when to let go. If this perspective made you see life differently, subscribe to MindForge. Every week, we explore timeless ideas from psychology, philosophy, and human behavior to help you better understand yourself and the world around you.